Hi, this is Kim from Dorothy's Daughter. Welcome to my channel. I'd like to say a special welcome to all my new subscribers. There's been quite a few of you lately, and I'm just delighted that you want to follow along with my videos. If you haven't subscribed yet, please go ahead and click the subscribe button down below, and also click the little bell that will alert you whenever there's new videos so that you don't miss anything. I have a lot of great things planned this summer, so I hope that you follow along with us. So birthdays are so special. Dr. Seuss said, "Today you are you. That is truer than true. There is no one alive who is youer than you. And never is that more true than on your birthday." So when my grandchildren are turning ages in their birthdays, I love to make them presents. And I have a grandson who has been obsessed with Toy Story for a quarter of his 4-year-old life. And he is obsessed with Woody and Buzz and just loves Toy Story with all his heart. So what I did was I made him a Toy Story themed gift, or several gifts actually, but the two things that I made were Toy Story themed fabric. And so I was going to share them with you and also share his response because we captured it on video and it was precious. But I just wanted to share that because right now Toy Story 4 is about to come out next week, and so there's a lot of kids who would absolutely love to have a Toy Story gift this year. So let me just show you the video of him as he opened one of his gifts from me.
Naomi.
What is that? What is that? What is that?
So cute. Oh my goodness.
That was a Toy Story shirt that I made from fabric, and I will link the fabric down below that I used, as well as some other fabrics that are Toy Story related that you might like even more. Actually, when I purchased this fabric, the Toy Story 4 fabric wasn't out yet. There wasn't a lot to pick from. And of course, a week after I made it, there was all kinds because of the new movie. So there's a lot out there, and I'm gonna link the ones that I found down below because I think you'll really like them. What I used was Simplicity 8852, and I used View C for that shirt. And that's a size 4 that I made him, and it fit him, really well. It's on kind of cockeyed in some of the pictures here, but it does fit him really well. He was just so excited he had to put it on, and he of course put it on all crooked. And then the other thing that I made him was a backpack. Now I've been making these toddler backpacks for a really long time, and this is the 4th one that I've made. I used Toy Story fabric. This is a free tutorial on Crazy Little Projects blog, and I'll put a link to that below. The backpacks go together quickly. There's a little bit of trickiness to the zipper and lining and so forth, but really nothing that an experienced beginner couldn't handle. It has a pocket, which you can put some things in, and it's just a delightful little project to do. So I made the Toy Story one for EJ, and what I did, there's some vague suggestions of what interfacing to use on these backpacks, and I understand why, because there's all different sorts of substrates you could make it out of, which would change the interfacing that you use. So I use quilting cotton. That's the fabric, the Toy Story fabric that I found. And what I did was I quilted around those circles of Woody and Buzz, and then with just fleece. Now I would have used fusible fleece, but I didn't have any. I used the fleece that I had. So I went ahead and I just quilted around the circles to make sure it didn't shift or bunch up if they have to wash it or anything. And then what I did was I used SF101 interfacing on the lining, and that made it stand up on its own without being real crunchy or hard. So it's still soft, but it still maintains its shape, that's the best combination that I've done so far. I used a really hard interfacing, like a craft fuse on the first one I did, and it was kind of stiff. And each one has gotten a little bit better, and this one has been the best combination. So that would be my suggestion if you're just using cotton for this backpack, that you would just line the front with fusible fleece and interface the lining, and it's perfect. So that's a great, kids love bags. I mean, that's the first point I want to make about birthdays, is that kids absolutely love putting their things in bags. So backpacks are great. EJ's walking around calling that his jetpack now, and I guess that's probably because we put a little Buzz Lightyear figurine inside, so now he calls it his jetpack. But I also have made in the past a beach bag for another granddaughter that I have, and she loves that. I made a little camera pouch as well for her waterproof camera that we bought her that year. So that was her themed gift. And that's been something she's been using several years now. And that's also a free pattern, which I will link below. Another thing I've made for another little grandson is a Hot Wheels carrier. And I actually self-drafted this myself, and it wasn't difficult at all. You just, kind of hold the cars and see how big you need to make the little pockets. If you'd like me to do a tutorial on that sometime, leave it in the comments, and I can do that. It wasn't hard at all, and I can work up the tutorial. I didn't write it down at the time, but I can do it again and write it down if you're interested. But kids love things they can put their treasures in. So that's, I guess, number one of things that kids love. Another thing that kids really love is that girls really love dresses. And I have four out of the 6 of my grandchildren are girls. In fact, it's just, there's the 3 girls, then we had 2 boys, and now another little girl. So for a long time, that's all I sewed was girls, because we didn't have any little boys. Now we do. But they love dresses, and it's kind of become a tradition that Grammy will make them a dress. So a couple of my favorite dresses are the Geranium Dress by Made by Ray. It's a fantastic dress. It's 0 newborn through 5T, and there are tons of variations. You can get an add-on pack for it that has sleeves and collars and all kinds of things. I have made this in all kinds of shapes and sizes and fabrics. It's just wonderful. I've made it for baby gifts, and it's just a fantastic pattern to have, and it takes very little fabric. So that's just a nice staple. I call that one of my tried and true patterns. I love just combining fabrics. I did the polka dot with the striped floral for my little granddaughter this year for her birthday. There's just a ton of things you can do with that. So that's one of my tried and true girls patterns. Another one is all the patterns from Little Lizard King, and there's several there that I love. The first one that I made from there was for my granddaughter a couple years ago. It had a kind of a boho feel to it. It was called the Cabarita, and I'll put a picture of her of the dress hanging here. Unfortunately, the Cabarita has now retired. But I'm going to suggest another one that I think is similar, has a similar boho feel to it. And in fact, the same granddaughter's birthday is next month. And I plan to make her the Havana dress, which has a similar boho style to it. And I think she'll really enjoy wearing that. Another thing we like to do is as they get older, when they turn 5 or 6, we like to give them, instead of having a bunch of toys that you don't even know, if they'll play with them. We need, it just gets to where they have so many toys. So now my husband and I like to give them experiences. We give them like a smaller toy and an experience. So I used this little Mist Haven pattern. My oldest granddaughter's birthday is in January. So all along I'd been sewing these beautiful sundresses for my two granddaughters who had birthdays in the spring and summer. They've been getting these beautiful little sundresses and things. And then Eve's birthday would come along, and she's 11 now. And her birthday would come along, and she would get pants, leggings, and a top. She never got the fancy dresses. And I started realizing that and felt really bad. So one day I asked her to pick a dress from Little Lizard King's website and show me what she would like to for me to make for her. And she kind of forgot about it then, I think, but I didn't. And so I made her the Mist Haven, and I made it in a navy satin with an overlay organza of white with small little silver stars on it. It was just beautiful, and she looked beautiful in it. So what we did was we packaged up that dress, and there was a tag hanging on it that said, "Dress up, we have somewhere to go." And then in another little box there was a golden ticket that I made, and it said that we were going to attend Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, which is one of her favorite books. So we attended the musical, and it was just a fantastic experience, and we had a blast. We both dressed up. I dressed in my Christmas dress so that I was dressed up too, and we just had a wonderful time. It was just her and I. My husband couldn't go, so we had a wonderful time. And I think she'll remember that forever. Another dress I really enjoy, I made for my middle granddaughter. And she's the one who was in the Sewing with Kids video a few weeks ago, if you saw that. I made her Arendelle, and it's a high-low sleeveless dress with a cutout back, and it's just adorable. And she loved it. She twirled around in it, and she, however, couldn't wear her dress to her experience, though, because we actually purchased her a ticket to go with a painting with Rapunzel activity, and we took her to it and took pictures, and I'll maybe throw a couple pictures of that in here. She had a wonderful time, and it was a wonderful birthday. So you know, experiences are great. Now my granddaughter that has the birthday in July, I'm not going to say what we're going to do because she might watch this channel. So I'm going to mum's the word on that, but we have a great experience picked out for her. Their little brother, who's turning 5 next month, I am going to make him, believe it or not, he's obsessed with scorpions. So I am going to, I can't find scorpion fabric that is reasonable. I mean, they have it at Spoonflower and places, but it's so expensive for a kid's shirt. If it was for an adult, if something that would be worn a long time, I would definitely spend it. But for a kid's shirt, that's only going to probably be worn 1 year, I really can't justify that cost. So I'm going to buy some plain fabric, a rubber stamp, and use some inks and stamp scorpions and create my own textile. I'll probably do a video of that because I think it might be a fun thing to vlog about. But that's my goal. I'm going to make him a scorpion shirt. I'm going to use the same pattern I used for the Toy Story shirt, and I think he'll love it. And he's also obsessed with cars and trains. He's the same little guy I made the Hot Wheels carrier that I talked about a few minutes ago. But we are actually going to buy him a ticket and take him on a train ride, take him to another city, eat lunch, and return. So that is going to be his experience for this year. So it really is a cool way to celebrate their birthdays. So they get a make, an experience, and a small toy. And that's just worked out this year. It's the first year we've done it, and so far they have loved it. My little granddaughter that turned 2 and my little grandson that turned 4, we didn't really think they were old enough to appreciate and remember that yet, so this year they got toys, but starting next year, when he turns 5, he'll get an experience as well. Some other dresses I've made, I've used quite a bit Simplicity 1702 and Simplicity 2989. They're both little sundresses for girls. They're Project Runway patterns, which means they have sort of interchangeable bodices and sleeves and things. And I've used that one, both of them, quite a bit for my granddaughters. And I'll scroll through some pictures over here of some of those makes. So another thing kids love is they love to pretend. So another thing I have done is I have done princess doll makeovers. So I purchased inexpensive dolls, and you can get them on Amazon, the 18-inch dolls, and they fit the American Girl doll patterns. You can buy them on Amazon or Hobby Lobby or Michael's. And I do have links below to the ones on Amazon. But if you do have a coupon, the ones at Michael's, I would highly suggest. They're really nice. But anyway, I take them and I style their hair, and it's kind of a fun thing to do. I kind of like playing with the dolls. But I'll style their hair, and then I'll create whatever character that I think that they would like to have. So I have done a lot of Disney princesses. In fact, I have a whole line of them I'll show you here. I've done Elsa, I've done Rapunzel, I've done both Cinderellas, the old Cinderella Disney animated and also the live Disney Cinderella. I've done Belle, and I've done Elsa from Frozen Fever. So those are the dolls that I've done. I've also done a 50s doll that I gave to my mother-in-law for her birthday. So I actually recreated her as a girl. And maybe I'll do a video about that sometime too, because that was pretty cool. Anyway, I take the dolls, I cut their hair, whatever I need to do to style them in the way that the princess is styled. And I was thinking, if you would like to see a doll makeover, like make along with me kind of thing, we could do that. I could totally walk you through doing one in a video. If you're interested in that, please put that in the comments, and I will definitely consider doing that, especially as we draw nearer to Christmas. I think it would be it's a great Christmas gift, and it can be really inexpensive, because the only large outlay that you have is to purchase the doll. And honestly, you can purchase a doll for under $20 if you have a coupon at Michael's or Hobby Lobby. I do have, for your convenience, links down below to the same ones on Amazon. They're a tiny bit more, but there's no shipping. Just depends on if you have access to Hobby Lobbies or Michael's. I do, the links I have in the description down below, there's a lot of them today, and they are affiliate links, but in no way do they influence the products I use or the products I recommend. I recommend what I recommend, and then I look to see if there's a link that I could give you that would also help support this channel. So if you do click a link and purchase something, it does help to keep the content free and keeps our channel going. So I appreciate it if you do, but there's no obligation to do that whatsoever. And I will tell you, the dolls, if you can get to a Michael's or a Hobby Lobby with their 40% coupons that they always have, you will save quite a bit of money. So the only outlay there is to one of those dolls is really the doll. You can make the outfits with pretty much scraps, fat quarters. You really don't need to purchase very much fabric at all. one year for Christmas, I did that whole lineup that I showed you of dolls. I thought when I was done, I thought if I never saw tulle again, I'd be happy. But not really. I've sewn tulle again since then. But they were so much fun to make. And I really wanted to keep them. But obviously, I couldn't do that. So it's a really fun project to do. So just a suggestion. So there's all those links below to all the patterns and all the dolls. And they also come in all types of people. They have an African American doll as well. I've also made Moana. There's a one doll that has the coloring that works for Moana as well. So I really enjoy doing those dolls. So those are just some ideas, and I know you probably have a lot more ideas. Feel free to share them with us in the comments, along with any patterns that you have that you like to sew for your kids or grandkids. The fifth thing that I'd like to point out is that unique deserves a label. So I have labels that I have used for gifts for a long time, and I purchased them online. I set out to find them and I couldn't online, but I did find some similar on Amazon, so I linked to it. Actually, I think I'm going to order these because they're cuter than what I use, but go ahead and check those out. You can personalize them, you know, made with love, but mine will always say Grammy because they call me Grammy. Not to confuse. See, the thing is, their grandma lives a couple streets over and we all go to the same church, so we're together a lot. So to differentiate, I'm Grammy, she's Grandma, so we have to do that because we're together a lot. You know, you can have it say Grandma, Nana, Grammy, whatever you're called, Mommy, or whatever, Aunt. I have some that say Aunt Kim because I do sew for my nieces and nephews sometimes. So yeah, that's basically the ideas I wanted to bring forth to you today. Have fun too when you do these things, because those are just the most fun projects to me because they just have such a great result. And then when you see those smiles afterwards, I mean, it's just amazing. So anyway, with that, I will leave you. I will see you Friday for Friday Sewing School. We're going to go over sewing machine feet and what they do. I'm going to try and demonstrate the feet that are in my sewing box, and hopefully that will be informative to you if you're a beginner, or maybe a refresher course if you're not. So happy sewing, and I will see you Friday.